Battle of Badr. The Battle of Badr was recorded in the history of Islam, which tells the story of the war between Muslims against the Quraysh troops. It is recorded that this war was won by the Muslims, who at that time were led by the Prophet Muhammad with only 313 people, while the Quraysh troops were 1,000 people. The Battle of Badr was the first major battle between the Muslims and their enemies. The battle took place on the 17th of Ramadan 2 AH, March 13, 624. A small force of 313 Muslims fought a 1,000 Quraysh force from Mecca. After about 2 hours of heavy fighting, the Muslim army crushed the lines of the Quraysh, who then withdrew in heavy defeat. Prior to this battle, between late 623 and early 624, the Muslims and Mecca were involved in several minor armed conflicts, and these armed conflicts became increasingly frequent. Nonetheless, the Battle of Badr was the first large-scale battle that took place between the two powers. Prophet Muhammad, who led a small army to capture the Quraysh caravan, had just returned from Sham when it was surprised by the presence of a much larger Quraysh army. Advancing against the enemy's strong defensive positions, Prophet Muhammad's highly disciplined troops succeeded in destroying the defensive lines and killing several key Quraysh leaders, including Abu Jahl alias Amr bin Hisham. The time and cause of the Battle of Badr. The Battle of Badr took place on 17 Ramadan 2H/624 AD. It is said that news spread in Medina about the existence of a large caravan of Quraysh infidels led by Abu Sufyan leaving Sham. The trade caravan will depart from Mecca to return home. The background of the Battle of Badr was the hatred of the Bani Hazim family and the leader of the Quraysh tribe for the Prophet Muhammad and his dawah activities, which were carried out after receiving revelations at the age of 40 years. After the death of Abu Talib in 619 AD, the leadership of the Bani Hashim passed to Amr bin Hisham or Abu Jahl, who was one of the enemies of the Prophet Muhammad. In addition, the Badr War was a resistance carried out by Muslims in the cities of Mecca and Medina. This was a response to the acts of terror and arbitrary acts committed by the Quraysh against Muslims. The Quraysh were afraid that later the Muslims would control the rich cities of Mecca and Medina and become centers of trade. On their way, they brought merchandise of great value. There are 1,000 camels loaded with valuable goods. Even in one history it is stated that the camels contained approximately 50,000 gold dinars. The caravan numbered no more than 30 to 40 people. There are several reasons that trigger the birth of the Badr War, namely 1. Expulsion of Muslims from Mecca. In addition to experiencing expulsion, Muslims are often treated badly by being oppressed, wronged, and even their property confiscated by the Quraysh infidels. 2. The oppression received by Muslims. Even though they had migrated to Medina, the oppression carried out by the Quraysh infidels was still experienced by Muslims. The Muslims who trade are often tortured and their merchandise is confiscated. 3. As a lesson to the infidels of Quraysh. The Battle of Badr was born one of them due to the heinous behavior of the infidels of Quraysh. Therefore, Rasulullah prepared the Muslims to teach a lesson to the Quraysh trade caravan that was going to Mecca. Battle of Badr. Abu Sufyan had heard that the Prophet had mobilized the Muslims to disrupt their journey. Therefore, he sent envoys to go first to ask for help to Mecca. Long story short, the tribes in Mecca quickly sent reinforcements totaling 1,000 people to face the Muslims. Nevertheless, the big battle at Badr was actually beyond the expectations of the Muslim community. Because, from the beginning, the Messenger of Allah mobilized troops against the infidel trading tribes of the Quraysh, just as an ordinary ambush and preparing for war. Therefore, only 313 Muslim troops left while the infidels numbered 1,300 troops. In the war, the Muslims were divided into two ranks, namely Muhajirin and Ansar. They moved from the north side along the main road to Mecca in the Badr Valley. Battle with a duel between Hamza bin Abdul Muttalib dealing with Al-Aswad bin Abdullah Sa'd al-Makhzumi from Bani Makhzum. Hamza also managed to defeat Al-Aswad. After that, there were further duels which were accompanied by a shower of arrows from both sides. Victory of the Muslims in the Battle of Badr. Even though the number of the Quraysh army was 4 times that of the Muslim army, by Allah's permission the Battle of Badr was won by the Muslim troops. This event became the first record of the victory of Muslims against infidels in war. The victory achieved by the Muslims was due to the reinforcements that Allah had brought. Allah sent 1,000 angels to come down to help the Muslims in the battlefield. This event is narrated in Surah Al-Anfal verse 9. Remember, when you asked for help from your Lord, then He granted it to you, saying, "Indeed I will bring reinforcements to you in the form of 1,000 angels who come successively."